Hello everyone. Got a little beans and taters for you this evening. In a few days, my oldest son turns 18 years old. And like I've said, we live in a small, tiny home. A little bit of property around the place. So I told him today that part of his 18th birthday is we're going to start the construction of his own little cabin. I'm still up in the air exactly of what size it's going to be. Probably going to be a 12 by, maybe a 12 by 14, 12 by 16. We have a spot up the hill that we had spoke about would be his cabin spot. So we do have a location, and I believe that 12 by 16 would be the most appropriate size of a cabin for him needed, and for the site accepting. It is very it's close to my spring, so at the same time I'll be able to do some clearing and maintenance around the spring, and get to utilize his labor involved with that, and sell it off to him as him not working for dad. He's working for himself. Anyways, you got to bribe them as you can. Now the cabin will be constructed of white pine poles up on top of the ridge there, where I plan on building my home in the future. It's just covered up with this little thicket of white pine, and they average between maybe 7 inches down to 4 inches is the average, and some being as big as 8 maybe, but the average is 3 to 6 is the average, I guess, would be a better number to call. Anyways, so that's what we're going to build his little cabin out of. Now I'm thinking that it'll might I'm going to say 50 white pine poles we're going to cut initially to throw on the ground, limb them up where they lay, and we get 50 on the ground at one time, just as fast as we can get them all down and limbed up. And then my oldest boy, he'll mule them down the hill with a strap, because they're pretty lightweight, they're not too heavy, to the building site, which is down below the hill side. Anyways, it's not that far of a drag, and we'll see it when we'll do the walk from the harvesting area to the building site. We're gonna build it, like I said, next to the spring. It'll be facing north, which is kind of, my property faces north. I mean, it's just kind of the way it is. Plus, that's the best view. He'll have a pretty killer view off his little front porch. He'll be able to sit in the summer times, and the sun kind of going overhead, and it'll always be in the shade. That'll be nice in the summer. In the wintertime, you should probably be careful on the front porch. It might be a little slick. The sun might not hit it very often. Anyways, we'll see how it goes. The long distance views will be pretty killer. They'll look out past onto the hillside, going, checking the fire there, headed that way. Views into Tennessee. The ridge that I look at from my view is of Roan Mountain, I believe, or that landscape that goes down through there in between the Tennessee and North Carolina line. It's pretty cool. I like it. There's a mind over on one side that kind of looks like a scar on the land, but it's a character mark, you know. Not everything is green and perfect in the world, so why not look at each thing and take them as they are. We do live in some mining areas, so there's some scars on the land, and it is what it is. Anyways, our little cabin is going to be not real tall. It's hold on, not real tall. Just it'll have a loft where he can choose to sleep. He'll probably sleep up there. It'll probably be the warmest area of the place, and it'll give him some privacy in his bedroom, so to speak. And so it'll have a loft. We'll have a little sitting area, maybe a microwave for warming stuff up. You know, running water will consist of maybe a 5-gallon bucket style dripped, you know, turn on and off, because he really doesn't need anything other than a little bit of drinking water and something to maybe rinse his hands off with, cooking and whatnot after going and pee-peeing. He will do all of his business really, you know, here at the house. He'll eat and take showers and use the bathroom and stuff, get his clothes washed. I mean, Mama still takes care of him pretty much, so it ain't like he's gonna have to do anything. He's a pretty good kid. I think he needs his own space, and he'll be better for it. And that's just one kid out of a tiny house, so I'm all for that. So tomorrow we're gonna start cutting on some logs. Pretty excited about that. I think that we can cut them all in one sitting, maybe. If not, it'll have to be I don't know, it'll be, you know, I work pretty much daylight to dark in the wintertime away from home at this point, which is, you know, something that we're trying to eliminate in the future. But I work in the reclaimed lumber business. I basically tear down barns and reuse them, repurpose them sell them to companies that do things with them, make flooring and whatnot. But it's pretty nice stuff. It pays the bills for right now. It's not something glorious, but it does get the job done. We don't have a large overhead, so the money we make is pretty good. I mean, not really good, but we live, in other words. We all get fed. We make our home payment, pay our light bill, internet. That's pretty good stuff. Need that to talk to you folks out there in YouTube land. People like me, hopefully, sitting around trying to learn how to do something. It'll be a learning experience. I've never set out from start to finish and built a little log structure like we're going to build as fast as we're going to do it. I'm really excited about the fact that we're going to try to bring it to you guys on a daily feed, the work and a talk, and we'll understand what's happening. Maybe we can get more feedback as it's happening. Maybe, you know, people jump on board. It'll be a slow start, but a crescendo for sure. It'll build up and be pretty amazing. I think maybe, you know, because I work away through the week, unless it's really bad weather, and then, you know, maybe we'll work in the bad weather because we can come in and out, drag stuff under the carport maybe and work under there. Then you got to carry it back up. He's got to carry it back uphill. I'm not going to. We'll see how that works out. Anyways, point is, once we get all the logs, which I think shouldn't take him that many days to drag down, I think that we can cut them all and get them all limbed tomorrow, which is a Sunday. I'm going to watch a little football in the middle to eat lunch, or get up in the morning and go up the hill and cut as many as we can get cut down, go take a break, warm up, and go hit it again. And I think that realistically we can get 40 or 50 poles cut down tomorrow, and I'm gonna video some stuff and see if we can get it done. I will have something for you tomorrow, Sunday, and how many poles we did get cut, how hard it's going to be to move them, how heavy they will be for him, whether he can do them or not, which I think he can. He's a pretty stout youngin'. He did break his leg earlier in this year, so he's a little bit gamed up, but he's doing really well. I have no worries about that. It's all healed up. The doctors said he's been healed up for probably 2 months, but I've limited what he can do and things like that. He fell out of a cherry tree picking cherries in the rain. That was still makes me smile a little bit. Not that he got hurt, just that the situation that the poor youngin' fell in. Because now how'd you fall? Oh, I fell picking cherries in the rain. Well, why were you doing that? Because I'm built like my dad. I'm kind of fat, so I wanted a cherry. But he calls me on his phone. He's like, "Hey, I've broke my leg." No, you're all right. So when I get down there, he tries to pick up his leg at 20 feet away, and I'm like, "Oh, no, don't do that, don't do that. It's broke," I said. But anyways, that's a whole different tale. Maybe I'll tell you the whole story. Anyways, tomorrow we're going to start the cabin. We're going to cut the poles tomorrow. I'm going to bring it to you. We're going to try to do it as fast as we can possibly can, as many days, and if we could get all the days together in a row, we could do it a lot pretty fast. We'll see. We'll count the days actually working, and we'll call it that. We'll keep in touch. We'll know what Jeremy's done and what he hasn't, and we'll bring it to you. Well, that's all for this evening. The fire is raging. It's pretty late in the evening. I used the old split and maul a little bit and got some stuff busted up, so that's good. That was all we have for Little Beans and Taters tonight. I hope that is good for everyone. I look forward to bringing you this little cabin for my boy on his 18th birthday.